This evening, first up, Guyana stands before the world's highest court and says it plainly: dismember our country and you destroy it. Today, at the International Court of Justice, Guyana delivered its most powerful defense yet of the Essequibo, and tonight every Guyanese should hear what was said. Then, 51,000 tickets, $205 million in fines, and measurably safer roads. 1 year in, Guyana's Safe Road Intelligence System is changing driver behavior, and the numbers proving. Plus, he pulled a gun and fired at police officers. They fired back, chased him over several fences, and caught him in a neighbor's yard. Tonight, the Better Hope man is in hospital under police guard with a bullet in his leg and a whole lot of questions to answer. Meanwhile, murders are down 18%, sexual assault down 49%, serious crime falling across the board. The Commissioner of Police says smarter policing and better technology are working. The numbers behind Guyana's safer streets, and the ceasefire is holding. But for ordinary Iranians, the pain is not letting up. Prices are surging, the currency is crumbling, and small business owners says the economy may take decades to recover. Tonight, the human cost behind the headlines. Those stories and more coming up. Stay with us. Welcome to this broadcast of Channel 2's Headline News Update for May 4th, 2026. I'm Bibi Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. First up, in a historic showdown today at the International Court of Justice, Guyana delivered a powerful and wide-ranging defense of its sovereignty over the Essequibo region, a territory representing nearly three-quarters of the country's landmass and home to more than 313,000 people. Foreign Affairs Minister Hugh Todd opened the proceedings in the case Guyana versus Venezuela, declaring the 1899 arbitral award legally valid and binding, and dismissing Venezuela's objections as a century too late. He warned the court that the controversy carries an existential quality for Guyana, stating bluntly, "It is tragic even to think about having our country dismembered." Ambassador Donnet Street reinforced the stakes, describing the Essequibo as the economic, ecological, and human heartbeat of the nation, encompassing vast river systems, the Iwakra Marine Forest, significant mineral deposits, and 6 of Guyana's 10 administrative regions. For a small developing nation, the loss of nearly three-quarters of its territory would not be a border adjustment. It would be the dismemberment of the country. Guyana's legal team systematically dismantled Venezuela's jurisdictional objections, presenting historical records showing Venezuela actively participated in the 1897 treaty negotiations, ratified the resulting award, and respected it for over 6 decades before raising any objections. With a final ruling still ahead, Guyana pledged to honor whatever judgment the court delivers and expressed hope Venezuela would do the same. In other news, in just over 12 months, Guyana's roads have become measurably safer and significantly more expensive for reckless drivers. Since its launch on April 1st, 2025, the Safe Road Intelligence System has issued more than 51,000 e-tickets and collected over $205 million in fines, with more than half of all offenders having already paid up. Traffic Chief Mahendra Singh, speaking to the Department of Public Information, called the milestone a turning point in the country's approach to road enforcement. Unlike traditional policing methods, the SRIS is fully technology-driven and designed from the ground up to eliminate human bias, interference, and the possibility of compromise. Currently operating along key corridors, including the Heroes Highway, the Mandela to Eccles Interlink, and the East Coast Public Road, the system has already recorded noticeable drops in serious and fatal accidents in monitored areas. But Singh was quick to temper the good news. Reckless behavior remains a stubborn problem, with many motorists still speeding and dangerously, carelessly, or negligently squeezing into every available gap in traffic. Authorities say the SRIS is more than just an enforcement tool. It's a long-term behavior change mechanism. As the system expands nationwide, officials are confident it will continue pushing Guyana's roads towards a safer future. Moving on, a 27-year-old man is now lying in a Georgetown hospital bed under police guard after allegedly pulling a handgun and firing at officers before being shot chased across several fences, and arrested, all within the span of a single Saturday night. The incident unfolded around 9 p.m. on May 2nd at Visla's East Coast Demerara, after police received a tip that a male was walking in the area armed with a firearm. When officers made contact with the Better Hope resident, he allegedly drew his weapon and discharged several rounds directly at them. Police returned fire and gave chase as the suspect fled southward, scaling multiple fences before being cornered and apprehended in a nearby yard. He was caught carrying a firearm on his person. He was escorted to the Sparnam police station, where his hands were swabbed for gunpowder residue before being taken to the Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation for treatment of a gunshot wound to his right leg. He remains hospitalized under police guard as investigators with Regional Division 4C continue their probe into the incident. This incident serves as a stark reminder that bearing illegal firearms carries consequences that can prove life-altering, not only for those who choose to carry them, but for the communities that live in fear of them. Stick around when we return. Ghana's top cop says intelligence-led policing is working, and mutton costs twice as much here as in America. And Ghana's VP says we only have ourselves to blame.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny?
I want money for borrow for do a surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Welcome back. Vice President Dr. Bar Jagdeo has issued a candid wake-up call to Ghana's farming community. The country's rising food prices are not just a global problem, they are a homegrown one. Speaking at a farmer consultation convened by President Dr. Mohamed Irfanali at the Arthur Conference Center on Thursday, Dr. Jagdeo laid out the uncomfortable truth. Ghana is not producing enough of what its people are eating, and that shortfall is driving prices to painful levels. The vice president noted that a pound of mutton that sells for US $4.99 in the United States fetches an $11 here. He also noted the chicken bought from producers at $125 is sold fried for US $6.75. The pattern is clear. Where local supply falls short, prices surge. Global pressures are making things worse. The recent US-Iran conflict has disrupted oil and shipping industries worldwide, pushing up the cost of imported goods and squeezing supply chains that Guyana still depends on for key food items. Locally, speculations is also sabotage in progress. When the government offered a $40 a pound for cassava and promised a processing mill, market speculators drove prices to $125 a pound within weeks, collapsing the initiative before it could take root. Jagdeo's message was unambiguous. Small-scale, low-productivity farming is no longer sustainable. Agriculture and livestock must be developed as serious industries. If they go into it as an industry, I'm sure we can compete with any part of the world, Jagdeo noted. But if you do it at a low productivity level, ordinary people suffer. On a different note, the numbers are hard to ignore, and for Guyanese citizens, they offer a rare dose of reassurance. Serious crime across Ghana has fallen by 10%, Commissioner of Police Clifton Hicken announced on Sunday, with dramatic reductions recorded in some of the most alarming offense categories. Murders dropped by 18%, Sexual assault plummeted 49%, and break and enter and larceny fell 15%, results the top cop attributed to a sharper, smarter approach to law enforcement. Speaking on police roundup, Hicken credited intelligence-led operations, increased patrols, rapid response strategies, and the expanded use of surveillance technologies for the gains. Command centers equipped with live camera monitoring are now actively preventing robberies in Georgetown, and the commissioner had a direct message for would-be criminals. The cameras will find you. We're going to find you, and you're going to be charged. 51 illegal firearms have also been removed from circulation as part of the coordinated crackdown. But technology is only part of the story. The Ghana Police Force is simultaneously decentralizing its community relations department, embedding officers within neighborhoods to build trust and sharpen information sharing. Sports outreach programs are targeting young people, while the public is being urged to report suspicious activity promptly. Looking ahead, Hicken outlined plans to expand the command center model from a safe city to a safe country approach, with facilities planned for every region. If the current trajectory holds, Ghana's streets may be getting safer, one camera, one tape, and one arrest at a time. Don't go away after the break. Cubans struggle to survive as dwindling ration leaves families hungry, and U.S. farmers hit by Iran war. Fertilizer and fuel prices soar.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny?
I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lenders, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Welcome back. Now we take a look at what's happening in the region and around the world.
Good evening, I'm Dominic Kittens tonight. Venezuela dismisses regional concerns over its renewed claim to Guyana's Essequibo region. Cuba's economy faces deeper strain under expanding U.S. sanctions and fuel shortages. In Iran, political tensions hit the streets, and American farmers feel the economic fallout of rising energy and fertilizer costs. We will begin in the Caribbean. Venezuela has dismissed concerns raised by Guyana and CARICOM over a brooch worn by acting President Delcy Rodriguez depicting the disputed Essequibo region. Rodriguez defended the symbol and said Venezuela will continue asserting its claim. The territorial dispute remains before the International Court of Justice, with regional tensions continuing to rise. Cuba's economy is struggling after years of U.S. sanctions. Inflation has been a persistent problem, made worse by Washington's recent fuel blockade, which has triggered an energy crisis. Al Jazeera's Dalia Al-Masri reports.
In Havana, survival is measured in grams. For many, this daily ration is all that remains, of a system established more than 6 decades ago.
All products are scarce, from toiletries to food. Everything is scarce here.
A small worn booklet, known as La Libertad, once guaranteed food for every household. Today, it offers little more than a reminder of what used to be.
In my house, we used to have breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and sometimes there were snacks between meals. But now we can only have one meal a day.
Years of economic strain caused by U.S. sanctions, inflation, and limited state funds have left ration stores increasingly empty. For some, survival depends not on government support, but on remittances from overseas.
Thanks to my wife's situation, we can eat every day because she has the possibility of receiving money from abroad. If not, we would have hanged ourselves.
Introduced in 1962 under President Fidel Castro, the ration book subsidizes essentials from milk to meat. But over time, the economy weakened and supplies dwindled.
No Cuban can live on the subsidized products from the ration books anymore.
In a system built on guarantees, uncertainty has become the norm. And for millions of Cubans, the question is no longer what they can buy, but whether there will be anything left to buy. Dalia Al-Masri, Al Jazeera.
In central Tehran, a striking billboard targeting US President Donald Trump reflects growing political tensions, but for many Iranians, the real impact of the conflict is economic. More from Al Jazeera.
A new billboard in central Tehran sends a blunt political message. It shows United States President Donald Trump, his mouth sealed by an image of the Strait of Hormuz. The slogan reads, "At the breaking point." But for many Iranians, the economic pain is being felt closer to home. The currency is volatile and the price of everyday goods is rising.
We are seeing inflation, which especially in the past week or two has created anxiety among the people. We are seeing prices go up every day, from the smallest items like eggs to the price of cars, gold and the dollar.
A ceasefire has paused direct attacks for now, but residents say that doesn't mean things are getting better.
The ceasefire is like being in limbo. They are making plans based on economic pressures and sanctions, and the ceasefire is harmful to the people of Iran.
Shopkeepers fear that even if the war ends soon, the damage is already done.
The economic situation is terribly bad. Even if we recover, it may take 10 to 15 years for the economy to improve.
Some Iranians also doubt negotiations will bring a quick resolution.
Negotiations with them will not lead anywhere. The real issue is the damage we ourselves are suffering.
Small businesses say sanctions have made a difficult situation even worse.
Before the ceasefire, we did not have very much of an economy, and our situation has become worse. Nothing has improved.
Many people here say the pause in fighting offers little reassurance.
The possibility of the war resuming is very high, but I hope that doesn't happen. People don't deserve this.
While Tehran's billboards project defiance and the ceasefire holds for now, many here believe the economic strain could outlast the fighting. For many Iranians, the daily life has yet to regain any real stability, and they are still waiting for meaningful economic relief. Al-Miqdad al-Ruhaid, Al Jazeera, Tehran.
Farmers in Virginia said rising fertilizer and fuel prices linked to the tensions in the Strait of Hormuz are hitting their livelihoods hard. With production costs surging, many blame the wider impact of the Iran conflict for the deepening uncertainty in U.S. agriculture. More from Al Jazeera.
You can't control the weather when you're farming, nor can you control the war. Joe Gray in Virginia can only deal with the consequences.
You want to know what it looks like spending an astronomical amount of money at one time? Here it goes.
The price of fertilizer has jumped 50% for American farmers since a key component for its production, urea, has been choked in the Strait of Hormuz. Fuel prices are also at a historic high, costing Gray about $100 an hour just to run this tractor.
For my bottom line, I'll tell you, I don't know, it's very uncertain. There it is. There's a corn seed.
Gray is counting on a bountiful corn harvest this summer to stay in business.
Hopefully in about 2 weeks, you'll have a nice little shoot coming up.
He voted for Trump, but now says he blames the president for breaking a promise to stay out of new wars.
Don't want to call my president a liar, but it sure is far from the truth of what he's doing because we are starting a war. What seems unnecessary.
A few counties over, a dairy farm is also feeling the war's strain. The average dairy cow eats 50 kilos of feed each day. So for these 300 cows on this farm, that's 15,000 kilos of feed daily. Now, the hunger of these girls never changes. What does change is the cost of growing their food. Keeping the cows fed has kept Brandon Moyer's family busy for 5 generations. Their farm is the oldest family dairy in Virginia. Now they're paying more to grow the corn and alfalfa that make up the cows' feed.
There's down times and up times, and got to go with the ebb and flow.
Moyer says the Iranian regime had to pay consequences for threatening the U.S., but he hopes the war ends and the strait opens. And now, rather than just hoping for rain and sunshine, American farmers are also hoping for a deal to end the war. Heidi Jo Castro, Amelia County, Virginia.
Thanks, Dominique. This brings us to the end of our regional and global news coverage. Up next is the 3-day forecast. And that's it, TV2 Headline News for this Monday evening. As we take our leave, we invite you to follow us on Facebook and YouTube. We will be off tomorrow, but you can tune in on Wednesday at 7 p.m. for more news. Until then, please take care of yourselves and each other, and do have a wonderful arrival day.